Twitch chat, what's up? How you doing? Oh, I did this. We should have been here. There you go. Look at that beautiful screen. Oh, someone said, wait, who said 2? Who said I would do more than 4 times? I just proved you the fuck wrong. One time's the charm. Let's choose that outcome. Easy points. There you go, everyone. Guys, say hello to YouTube. I fed and watered Meatbag last week, so I think he'll be fine, we hope. Wait, you gotta do that? I think you gotta do that daily, Larry. It's always summer here. We don't talk about the other 3. I'm his favorite. Lion's like, I'm the favorite child? I don't know what to tell you. I was 10 years old when I found out Starbucks girl is not a Starbucks barista. Oh, I'm so sorry. Starbucks boy is, but Starbucks girl is not. Starbucks girl is my voice. It's my barista voice. That started out because I used to work at Starbucks, and the voice that I do on a normal basis, on a daily basis, and the voice I did for Starbucks is very, very different, and then it transformed into a character all itself. The ultimate Starbucks improv RP. What? Look at that, they saying hi. I'm sometimes smart. You are asleep. You guys are always smart. Aristocracy. Okay, I was right the first time. Might have been me, but I'm not sure if it submitted. Oh, the points? Yeah. Noted. Must take care of the meat bag on a daily basis. Now that I'm caught up in chat vaguely, guys, this art's gonna be so, so cool. So I cannot remember if this was put in for Otome Jam 2022. It does have a Patreon. It did have a Kickstarter, I believe, and then I actually paid like a game amount of money for this, so it should be completed, I think. I don't know when it was released, to be honest. Let's go to my configuration. I want the text to be all the way up here. Thank you. I'm gonna pull the music down just a little bit, and I'm gonna put the sound down a little bit. Is that okay? Can you guys still hear it, or should I put it back up? Actually, that got really low. Maybe here? Maybe down? Notes? I guess we can have notes on. I'm in windowed. All that stuff. We sounding good? We all good? Please let me know. Because I never know if it's my headphones or if it's actually the video itself. Okay, I'm a little nervous because it's gonna be stats and stuff as well. Royal Alchemist, let's go. Okay. My what liege? Oh my god, you get to pick the picture and then you get to pick the pronouns. I could be this. This is just like adopt a boyfriend. This is the way of the future. This is the way of the future and what we need, everyone. Or at least if you're not going to do customizable, I think this is what you need to do. I really like how he looks, or how this, excuse me. I like how this character looks. Let's go my liege. Okay. And then Reaper. You know what's great about Reaper? It's a gender neutral term. It can be femme, it can be masc. It's great. Everyone in the chat, you must now call me my liege. 2 decades into his reign, the first king of Eskia was assassinated. With the succession thrown open and none of the 3 royal princes ready to take the throne, the king's brother has assumed regency. Hoping to guide the rightful heir to the throne, the regent has sought help from the High Council, a neutral and influential faction of powerful magicians. The delicate ascent, however, isn't someone the Ascarian aristocracy wishes, for more reasons than meets the eye. You are the High Council's delegate, a newly appointed tutor to the royal princes. The journey ahead is riddled with obstacles, murky intrigues, and many dangers that may let your story end abruptly. Yeah, we can die. There's apparently like 24 different ways we can mess this up that I saw in the achievements. This will be fun. Your choices will carry consequences as you make them. Take on solely burdens you can bear and choose your path wisely. Okay, story mode or adventure mode? Oh, I don't know. Okay. I'm gonna do that's the thing, the poll. Let's take this over to Twitch. Story. Adventure. I give you 1 minute, go. Choose, what am I doing? What mode am I doing? Story mode or adventure mode, go. My lady. It's also short enough to fit into the name of most, if not all, games. It's true. That's so true, Dawn. I love my name. Yay, death! Christopher Throbbing, good evening. How are you, sweetie? I don't know what I'm doing. Am I doing story mode where I could just enjoy the story, or you guys can put me in adventure mode and I can apparently die. Potentially a lot. Oh, man. Hey, YouTube. We're just waiting for Twitch to vote. How you doing? You doing good? I'm not editing this out, so you're dealing with me talking to chat for a minute. Okay, adventure is the winner. How many people? Okay, 4 people for adventure, 1 person for story. Adventure we go. Adventure! Week 0. To a joyous venture and a happy end. My liege. Never mind. How much longer to Fostrix, Captain? At this rate, my liege, less than an hour. I nod and glance absent-mindedly out of the carriage window at the scenery flying by. The night lies black and heavy over the murky forest that looms on either side of the road. No trace of the waning crescent moon can be seen through the storm clouds gathering in the sky. The distant rumbling of thunder mingles with the sound of the wind soughing through rustling leaves. An hour, he says. Will the weather hold up that long? Looks like a storm is about to break. Hard to say, my liege. We might just make it in time. Perhaps we should have stayed overnight at that inn. How old am I? I look very young. Perhaps, my liege. The guard captain glances at me and casts a sheepish grin. Can't say we were sorry to leave the place behind, my men and I. We're all very keen to see home and hearth again. Ah, yearning for the embrace of the loving wife, Captain? And to see my daughters, my liege. My youngest turned 3 this month. She... Nice! A sound akin to a stone splitting in 2 shatters the silence of the night. I bolt upright as the hair on the back of my neck tingles with apprehension. What was that? Halt! Halt! The carriage jolts to a stop. Without a word, the captain rides on ahead to confer with the escort vanguard, leaving me to peer uneasily into the now ominous woods outside my window. We're gonna die! We're not even gonna get to week 1! I'm gonna die right here! I can tell! I can feel it! I feel it! Captain? Captain, I demand to know what's going on this instant. We're still trying to figure that out ourselves, my liege. The captain's face reappears by the window, a little pale and worried looking. I let out a breath I didn't realize I was holding. None of the men saw anything out of the ordinary. I don't suppose you... No. Maybe it was the thunder? You may be right, my liege. Neither he nor I sound very Neither he nor I sound very convinced. Should we have the coachman press the horses to hurry a little, Captain? The sooner we reach the capital, the safer... better, I mean. My sentiments exactly, my liege. Turning his head, the captain rings out a series of orders, and with a jerk, the carriage starts moving again. This time at a briskish canter. I notice the guards are riding in a tighter ring around the carriage, and that a few now have hands brushing the pommels of their sabers. And you, my liege? I beg your pardon? Are you looking forward to meeting your princely charges? Oh, I offer a non-committal grunt. How can I look forward to meeting people I know next to nothing about? Come now, my liege. You're going to be royal tutor to 3 princes of Eskia. It's an exalted position, even for the descendant of the famous Rosencreutz dynasty. Surely you must be curious. So I am, but I try my best not to let it show. It wouldn't do for the royal tutor to appear nosy or, heaven forbid, eager in front of a mere captain of cavalry. Prince Saren sounds of the decent sort, by all accounts. A right gentleman is our Prince Saren, every inch a worthy successor to our late beloved king. Yes, but the slightest bit standoffish, perchance? One could say he acts out of touch with the people, but I won't do the honors. Oh, I like that. Oh, okay. One could say he acts out of touch with the people, but I won't say it. From what I've gathered, he doesn't appear to have the common touch that Prince Nazir does. Oh, no doubt about it. The commoners love the good Prince Nazir. A fine dashing fellow who sweeps you right off your feet if he has the mind to do so. If he has the mind to? But I hear he has many things occupying his mind these days. Unfortunately so, my liege. Seems to spend his days lounging around taverns, singing with troubadours? And hiding from moneylenders like a vagabond. Dude, you're a prince? And you have debts? Broski, we're gonna talk about this. He could spare to be a bit more like his brothers, Prince Saren and Prince Aurelius. What is your opinion of him, Captain? For a moment or two, I watched the guard captain's mustache bristle noiselessly. After some thought, he slowly replies. Well, my liege, one doesn't like to blow one's own trumpet, you know. But back in my younger years of fresh-faced cornetcy, I was a deft chess player. Swept the field in the War Academy's chess competition. I was the reigning champion, not just of my cohorts, but of my seniors and juniors, too. And the Prince Aurelius? As a reward for my skill, I was invited to the palace for a game against the prince. I was told he was something of a chess enthusiast. I hope you were diplomatic enough to let him win. I didn't stand a ghost of a chance, my liege. What? I took a closer look at the man I'm speaking with. But, Captain, that must have been nearly a decade ago. Prince Aurelius was 9, my liege, when I had the honor of a match against him. We travel on in silence for a while as I digest this new information. Curiosity gets the better of me, and I pursue conversation with the captain about the princes once more. So it seems like the older one is standoffish. The middle one is flirty / has losing money kind of shit. And the third one, the youngest, might be a genius? Prince Aurelius must have been quite a prodigy growing up. So he has, my liege, and so he still is. It's a pity he hasn't any hope of ascending to the throne. What makes you say that, Captain? The nobility of the court have themselves set dead against him. Have they? Why is that? You mean you don't know, my liege? The prince. The captain sounds like he's about to say something, but checks himself abruptly mid-sentence. Is the prince, like, from maybe, not the queen? Like, you know, like a half-child, or a half-prince? The prince is much too clever for their tastes. Ah, maybe can't be manipulated! You know how the nobles can be, my liege. Swollen-headed, stuck-up parasites, the lot of them. The more competent someone is, the more they detest them. Ah, but not you, my liege. You're quite capable and considerate, befitting of your position, unlike most these days. I could not prevent my upper lip from twitching. It was a grossly sweeping generalization, but at the same time, not entirely an unfair one. I did appreciate the admission of admiration, however, so I'll allow it. You're not of their estate, Captain? No, my liege. My parents are shopkeepers. I earned my commission by merit, not patronage. I smile and incline my head slightly. We, the alchemists of the High Council, share your views on the matter, and we wish more men of your stamp were in positions of authority throughout the realm. Many thanks, my liege. That's why I'm glad the Lord Regent chose one of you alchemists as the prince's tutor. I do believe the kingdom and its moribund court are overdue for a good shaking up. You know. The guard captain's voice trails off. His mustache bristles again, and his brows furrow downward as he begins to frown. It's gotten strangely warm here. Huh? As we were talking, the temperature around us has grown imperceptibly, but steadily warmer. Before long, I realize I'm dabbing my handkerchief to my forehead, wishing I could permit myself the liberty of loosening a collar button or two. You're right. After we heard that sudden burst of thunder, it seems... Are we surrounded by fire? Did the lightning strike something, maybe? That didn't sound like thunder. The guard captain's eyes widen. It's a trap! It's a trap! It's a trap! Star Wars! My liege, get out of the carriage, now! And here, everyone, is where Reaper dies for the first time. He lunges forward and wrenches the door open. As the door swings outward, I see the carriage road beneath us starting to glow blood red. Becoming rapidly hotter now, the air that blasts into the carriage might as well have come straight out of a furnace fire. The road is mined. This thought has just enough time to flash across my mind when the ground begins to rumble and shake. I squeeze my eyes shut and murmur the first spell that comes to my mind. Oh, that's right, we're a magician. Don't worry. Blue! Oh, guys! You guys did such a good job. Look at that. My magic is blue, my eyeshadow's blue. We're matching today, people! As the last syllable of the spell leaves my lips, the petal markings around my neck burn to life, searing painfully against my skin. What is this? Grimoire? Oh, we have a grimoire! Fuck yeah! A violent force propels me upwards into the air, right before a crimson inferno erupts out of the ground. I gasp and scream as before my eyes the eruption devours the carriage, the coachman, the escort guards, the captain, the whole world in a horrific, blossoming flame. We couldn't save anybody else? Am I that selfish? The terrible sight breaks my concentration, and the levitation spell I had cast, which had flung me away from the brunt of the explosion, dwindles and fails. My stomach twists with vertigo as I drop downward. A heartbeat later, I collapse onto the charred, blackened ground just outside the ring of destruction. Pushing myself up, I stare in shock at the carnage that had overtaken my carriage. Cruel red-orange tongues of flame lick the blackened outlines of the carriage, the horses, and the twisted, charred remnants that had once been men. The guard captain had a 3-year-old. know I probably should not feel like this bad about an NPC, like as like a small side character, but he had a 3-year-old, guys. If not the warning of the captain, the split second that allowed me to mutter a spell, I would have been one of them. Did we get him? Dunno. What do they look like? Pretty much like a human-shaped charcoal now. Same as the rest of this lot. Shadowy figures emerge from the forest and onto the road to stand by the flickering flames, pointing, gesticulating, chuckling. They're a bunch of burly, scarred men in ill-fitting scrap armor. Light from the fire gleams against their equipment. I see spears, hatchets, maces, knives, even a rusty, jagged sword. Suppose they're dead. Suppose we tell the boss they're dead, and it turns out they're only wounded and needed finishing off. Gar! They won't need finishing off, not in this mess. Either the fire gets them or the smoke does. Someone pokes a corpse with the tip of his pike and turns it over. It was once the guard captain. This them? They're all dolled up in a real fancy looking dress. Might be. Oh, sorry. That was too fast. Can I go back? Nope, I cannot. There's something else there and I skipped it. My bad. Let's say you look fresh and nice after getting exploded by 5 crates of phlogiston. The mercenaries break into raucous laughter that is grating to the ears. Quietly, I rise to my feet, not daring to breathe. At the moment, they're distracted, and from the looks of it, hadn't seen me previously levitate away from the explosion. I can take advantage of this and attack them. After all, they are merely hired goons, not master swordsmen or adept mages. I should be able to take down 2 or 3 in the initial assault using the element of surprise. That ought to be enough to scare off the rest of them. On the other hand, I can take advantage of their distraction and run away. That may not be the most glamorous thing to do, but there's no reason for me to take any unnecessary risks when I don't know the situation. I don't know how many there are. We see 3, but there could be 20. As the saying goes, the better part of valor is cowardice. Discretion. The better part of valor is discretion. What should I do? I'm gonna retreat. Because, they show 3, but they've all, MC has commented that, we don't know how, that there might be more. Do you still want to romance the guard, Christopher? He's embarrassed he got whooped by a 9-year-old. I appreciate people trying to tell me the pronunciation, but I'll be honest, guys, I will read it and I'll forget it. And I've got too many things in my head when I'm streaming, so you just gotta accept that I'm not gonna pronounce things correctly. But yeah, I knew what it was. I just don't know how to say the word. I read a lot of fantasy, guys. Let's retreat. Yeah, I'm retreating. Drahoon? Yes, we are retreating. Look, I got intelligence! Okay, say what you like. 10 against 1 is simply not the kind of odds there's 10? I'm glad I retreated. Nah, no, live to fight another day, guys. Not the kind of odds I fancy. I whisper a dark spell softly to the shadows of the forest, and they respond, leaping to me and cloaking me in a veil of darkness. Careful not to make a noise, I plunge into the forest, leaving behind me the heat of the burning carriage and the laughter of the gloating mercenaries. As I run through the silent woods, I empty my mind to begin murmuring another spell, this time of navigation. When the final syllable leaves my lips, the sights, smell, and sounds of the forest flood into my mind. Momentarily overcome, I have to check my pace. Clutching my burning neck and closing my eyes, I reach out with my mind to get a sense of my surroundings. Please let me know, guys, if the sound is too loud or anything for you. The trees from their roots to the tips of their leaves, and the animals, from the owl hidden in the branches to the panther lying amongst the brush. I do love me a good panther. I see, or rather feel, them all. And they are awake and brimming with fear. The explosion seems to have startled the nearby wildlife for miles around and has triggered a series of fight or flight reactions. For the most part, the animals have scurried away from the scene, but the more curious of them are already venturing towards the site of the explosion. At the other end of my consciousness, I can sense the thugs standing around the inferno, boasting of their false accomplishments. Good, they're still there. I'm hoping and we kind of put like a shadow spell on us, so hopefully no one's following us. Music's a little loud. Thank you, Totes. How about that, guys? I did it on the on OBS, but I can configure it in the game as well. Yeah, that did seem like a early trap, Dawn. I'm not falling for that shit. Actually, I'm gonna take this down a bit too. There we go. Let's do that. And almost right next to me, the shining radiance of pure magic. Why do I have a grimoire? Can I click? I'm gonna click this. Oh, I'm 18. They got an 18-year-old to be a tutor? Okay, wait, we're gonna do this. I've got a magic affinity for all. Beauty, know how to present yourself at court. Etiquette, to act around nobles. Use your head to fight your way through intelligence, combat, charisma, and leadership. So we got everyday, survival, and socials. Okay, so we might need leadership. Or, oh, I don't know. We're gonna have so much fun with this, guys. We're gonna have so much fun. Drahoon, I'm not listening to you. Good evening, by the way, but I'm not listening to you. I open my eyes and blink. An innocuous-looking wooden crate leans against a withered tree a few paces from where I'm standing. I walk over and swiftly pry open the lid. Even in the darkness, I can make out the smooth, dark red stones piled within. Phlogiston. Fire phlogiston. I see. They didn't have time to make use of you, did they? I mutter myself as I cram my pockets with the phlogiston. We were supposed to not come by tomorrow morning, not tonight. Oh, excuse me. We were supposed to come by tomorrow morning, not tonight. If we had stuck to the original plan and spent the night at the inn, the mercenaries would have had enough time to bury the rest of the phlogiston under the ambush site, greatly amplifying the power of the explosion. If they had managed to do that, even my quick-thinking guard captain and my levitation spell wouldn't have been enough to save my hide. The realization dawns on me, and so does a plan. Clenching my teeth, I start to make my way back to the burning carriage. What? I thought we were getting away! The carriage and surroundings are no longer burning by the time I arrive. Not that it matters. There's still plenty of embers glowing amidst the ashes, which are more than sufficient for my purpose. The mercenaries are moving among its ruins, pushing and prodding debris as they search for something. Me, probably. No use, Chief. They aren't here. Gah! Don't gah me, imbecile. Keep looking. They escaped, didn't they? Cunning weasel. You want to tell the boss that, eh? You fancy telling him we failed? No, Chief. That's your duty, ain't it? My duty is to tell him we succeeded, moron. A loud bonk, followed by a groan of pain. So keep looking till you find their stinking corpse. Do you know, for mercenaries, they're very respectful of my pronouns. I can respect them in that. Silence settles over the scene again. After another minute, a man wearing an eye patch straightens up with a sigh and declares, I tell you, it's no use. The child escaped, somehow. Seems so, doesn't it? Sorry, I cannot keep the 3 voices for them. It's just gonna be just general stuff. Ugh. A real shame. If they did, they're probably halfway to the capital by now. We'll never lay eyes on them again. Yeah, you would think. But no, I turned the fuck around apparently because the game is like, you want to die today. The game is making me die. That's where you're wrong. Being halfway to the capital by now sounded like a sterling proposition. Unfortunately, I need information, and only they can provide it to me. Oi, there! Now, how to go about this? Attack now, ask questions later? Attack first, ask questions later. Okay, we got combat. Lifting my arm, I fling a phlogiston straight onto a pile of still glowing ashes. The phlogiston ignites immediately upon contact and explodes. Blood rushes to my head as I see the mercenaries who got hit scattering, screaming, rolling on the ground wrapped in flames. Who ordered you to attack me? How did you know I was traveling by this route? Where did you come by all this phlogiston? The mercenaries stare at me, their eyes cold, and the life they once displayed is gone. As if on cue, one of them opens his mouth. Then his body jerks and he spins around, a hatchet held firmly in his hands, and crushes the skull of the eye patch wearing man beside him. What? There was no hesitation in his swing, and no remorse to be found within those black, doll-like eyes. A frenzy seems to take hold of them. Before long, they all turn on each other, chopping, stabbing, mauling like savages. Stop it! Why are you... But there's no one left to reply to me. Not with a scream, not with a groan, not even with a sigh. My head is buzzing and curiously empty. I lean against the trunk of a tree, fighting down my repulsion that is eager to make itself seen. My head rests against the rough bark, and I gaze unseeingly at the cold, hard stars, trying to process what had just happened. The artwork is absolutely fucking fantastic. Once again, I believe they had a Kickstarter for this game. That previous piece, awesome. Before I start this, actually, let me grab the fan because it's getting a little hot. We haven't even seen any of the princes yet. Damn. Should have farted on him, but I guess explosions can do. I think that's a Drahunic feature. Drahoon. Right, Dawn? They were so respectful about pronouns. The proud high walls of Fostrix thrust into the azure sky as its battlements shine a blinding white in the splendor of the meridian sun. I'm hurt, hungry, and tired to the bone. Yet I cannot help but feel a stir of awe as I take in the breathtaking sight. I nudge my palfrey onto the main thoroughfare, squeezing through the throng of townsfolk and livestock. At this very moment I should be in the castle, soon to be confirmed by the Lord Regent as tutor to the princes before the estates of the realm. Instead, I look at my tattered, singed clothes and the ragged palfrey I had bought for an exorbitant price at an outlying farmstead this morning, and woe at the misfortune. Because of the events that took place the night before, I decided to err on the side of caution and spent most of my time painstakingly covering my trail so not to be caught. At least I've nearly reached the palace now. Will they let me in if I look like this? Soon I shall have a warm bath to wash myself in, hot food to eat, and a soft bed to sleep in. A thrill of delight shivers through me. Soon. You there! Stop! An officious-looking palace guard is in ridiculously ornate armor is blocking the road. He glares at me and waggles his spear in front of my nose. Excuse you, sir. What do you think you're doing, vagrant? I'm on my way to the palace. Ha ha ha! They're on their way to the palace! Again, even when they're mocking me, they're like, we don't respect you, but we will respect your pronouns. You know, I wish people in real life would do this. Like you know what? I'm gonna talk shit about you. What's your pronouns? They, them, she, her, he, him. Why? Because I'm gonna talk shit about you, but I'm at least gonna be respectful about it. Like, I want to make that the new normal. You don't have to be nice, but at least respect the pronouns, bitches. Darklink, hello, good evening. What is up? Oh man, I just had a notification in front of that. Unnamed Rock, good morning to you. Good evening from Japan. Welcome, you guys. This game is fun. I like this. Squinting his eyes, he proceeds to shriek with laughter. The two other palace guards behind him let out a titter, and one of them makes a rude gesture at me with his hand. The palace, street rat, only admits people of quality. Be so good as to scamper back into the sewer from whence you came before I skewer you. Do you talk to all the residents like this? You little piece of shit! Pardon me. You are making a terrible mistake here. I'm here to serve as a tutor to the princes by instruction of His Excellency the Lord Regent. Ha! And I'm the High Queen of Carcosa, here to join the late king's harem. This witticism provokes another shrill outburst of merriment. I can already feel my patience rapidly wearing thin. My lips purse on instinct. While trying to be civil, I can't help but glare at the guard. Despite never having been awarded a patent of nobility and never having sought for one, my house is still recognized among the ranks of aristocracy. And as a representative of the council, I do not have to stand here and bear this idiocy. I had been ambushed by assassins. My carriage was destroyed, and my escort was killed. I myself barely escaped the slaughter. So it's not the sewers you came from, but the asylum. I am neither insane nor lying. No? No? Then I suppose I'd better let you pass, hadn't I? He moves a step aside, but stops mid-motion as if remembering something. Oh, you said you're to be the prince's tutor, as I recall. You recall correctly? Then you'll no doubt have the Lord Regent's letter of appointment hidden somewhere among the rags you're wearing. The letter of appointment. I feel my heart sinking. As ordered by the council, my appointment was to be kept hidden until my arrival due to security reasons. Alas, I totally forgot about the letter. I'm afraid I've lost it. Oh! Oh! What an awful and utterly unexpected surprise! The letter was in the carriage, but... Get out of my sight before I gut you like a hog, imbecile. How dare you? I warn you not to take liberties. You warn me? You warn me. Do you know who I am, maggot? Do you know who my father is? Oh! What the fuck? What the fuck? I don't care who your daddy is. I don't care who your daddy is. Bloodline or in bed. I don't give a fuck. If the only thing of merit you have is, do you know who my father is? Do you know who my mother, my grandfather, my grandmother, my aunt, my uncle, my cousin is? Then you have no merit. Get the fuck out of here. I can whip you like a cur in the street. I can make you lick dirt from my boots. I can cut you to pieces and feed you to my hounds, and no one will so much as blink. So don't you dare warn me. You unspeakable lowlife. The tip of his spear taunts me as it wavers and glints. I was about to say, can I put a spell on him? And then this has happened. Suddenly the guard freezes. His mouth snaps shut and he stiffens into a salute. Is something the matter, Hagen?
I don't know if I love him yet, but I do love the art, and he does match the nerd wall, so
Hello there. Which prince are you? A young man makes his way up beside me with a small smile resting about his lips. He has to be the second. The first thing that strikes me about him are his eyes. Beautiful and almond-shaped, they peer out into the world from under carefully hooded lids. Staring keen and guarded, those eyes take in everything and give nothing out in return. His dark cape rustles with every elegant move, and the sound of something small and sonorous follows him. Eventually, I noticed it coming from his golden earrings. A suspicious character is attempting to enter the palace, and I was trying to chase them away. A suspicious character? Surely there must have been a misunderstanding. Pardon me, I don't believe I've had the honor. I am Reaper of House Rosencreuz, coming to receive my appointment as royal tutor from His Excellency the Lord Regent of Eskia. Even if, as I confidently say this, I feel my heart sinking. Is he not a prince? Maybe he's not a prince. Do I not get to romance? Can I romance someone other than the princess? I'd be okay with that too. I'd be totally okay with that. The young nobleman seems both friendly and influential, but there's no reason why he would be any more likely to believe these words from a haggard, disreputable-looking stranger like me than the palace guard. Against all odds, the youth merely inclines his head slightly. It's a pleasure to meet you, my liege. Please allow me to introduce my brothers. Prince, it's a prince! He half turns and makes a graceful motion with his hand, and for the first time I notice the two youths standing behind him. Is the first prince! Oh, wait a second, that's the first prince. This is Nazir. One of them looks up, running his fingers through his hair and behind his ear, and meets my eyes with a playful wink with his braids sliding over his cape ever so slightly. I love the way they colored his hair! That's such a nice way! With the reds involved. Yes! Oh, fuck! How do you do? I don't know. Oh, Aurelius came on the scene. Andrea and I both had the same thing. Oh. I don't know, but the first prince also. See, it's like, I knew no matter what the design looked like for the second prince, I would not enjoy him because, like, again, Playboys do not do it for me and things like that. They do not do it for me. Oh my god. Okay. It's a fight between the oldest and the youngest. I don't know which way we're gonna go yet. And this is Aurelius. I take a glance at the nobleman's other companion. Beautiful dark hair gracefully falls to his hips, highlighting the fairest complexion I have ever laid eyes upon. He must be from a different mother. Because look at the other two. And they were saying, they wanted to say something else about him. I don't think he might be from like a concubine or something. In short, he's striking, but in the most ethereal and haunting sense of the word. Aurelius holds my gaze for half a second, then glances away, the impenetrable expression of his face unchanged. I am Saren, a prince of our fair Eskia like my brothers before you, and very much at your service. He lowers his head in a courtly bow, not entirely devoid of irony as realization finally dawns on me. I look like shit, and I have a prince bowing his head to me. Tutor or not, this does not look good for them. Like, the fact that he's doing that, like, like, in a way that it's kind of respectful that even though I look like shit, he is still doing it. Unnamed rock, street rat, I don't buy that. If only... Oh, I can't remember the tune for it. It's been so long since I watched Aladdin. Dark Link, I've been good. Now I'm in the middle of figuring out who the fuck I'm gonna romance. Dismount and show them respect. Get him to help dealing with... let's dismount and show them some respect. I want to show respect. That's not entirely true, Sleepy, because sometimes some fantasies will have concubine children also be royalty if the king so chooses. That's why he's not directly in line for the throne, which is what the guard captain was saying, but he can still be a prince. Yeah, dismount and show some respect. They're the princes. Yes. I could have also told you they're the prince's MC Reaper Game Reaper because they're the only ones that had full art sprites. Etiquette. Fuck yeah. Got some etiquette. Hell yeah. I'm just covering all my bases. In a flash, I slip off the palfrey, dropping on one knee before the prince. Your Highnesses. Long, delicate fingers touch my shoulders. Like, are we talking, our previous conversation? Long, delicate fingers, or... excuse me. Long, delicate fingers touch my shoulders, lifting me to my feet. However, they leave me long before I can even recall their touch. There's no need to kneel, my liege. After all, you are to be our tutor. We are the ones who ought to be showing you respect. Your Highness, you don't seriously believe the ramblings of this character. But I do. Can you not see these, Hagen? Prince Saren inclines his head ever so slightly in the direction of my neck. Understanding his intentions. I can read. There's hot people on the screen, but I can still read. Understanding his intentions, I loosen my collar a bit, revealing the petal markings. I like that design choice, by the way. The little eyes of the palace guard squint again, his lips working silently. These petal birthmarks are the birthright of every Rosencruz and a symbol of their unique gift, their affinity for all 6 elements of magic. And this person is indeed the royal tutor, and our uncle, the Lord Regent, most anxiously desires to meet them. But, Your Highness, they haven't got the letter of... I vouch for them. I'm sorry, there's just something about, like, the bowing and the hand going to the chest that just... It just gets to me. In his response, there resides the faintest hint of steel within his silky smooth voice. The palace guard blanches, even though Prince Saren's external demeanor does not alter. Oh, I like you. Lowering his head, he obediently stands aside. Saren turns to me with a gentle smile. This way, my liege, if you will allow me. I smile back and falling into step alongside the prince, finally walk under the towering arched gates and into the great sprawling palace of Fostrix. Grimoire updated! New Grimoire characters unlocked. Saren, Nazir, and Aurelius. So we've got some now etiquette, intelligence, and combat. So we're jumping up in the world. And then here we go. Oh my god. The full art! No. I want to cosplay him. They're older than me! Look, I am 18! 20, 19, 19. They're older than me. I think I'm going for Saren, guys. Daily life. What does this mean? Oh. Daily death? What? Oh no. That's scary. That's scary! I wanna cosplay Aurelius. No! Stop it! You stop adding things to your cosplay list. Stop it! Oh, the background's pretty. Oh, it's sleepy. Yeah, I just read a lot of fantasy and I'm like, I read lots of fantasy where it's always a fight for the throne because the concubine's sons are also considered okay. Prince Saren takes me past the garden forecourt into a sumptuously appointed antechamber within one of the palace's wings. I hope you'll forgive poor Hagen. He's new to his job and clearly requires a great deal more, manners, self-preservation, intelligence, pedigree, polish? Just so. Polish. Here's to hoping poor Hagen gains it quickly. And before he challenges another Rosencruz or some nobility that are less gracious about letting him walk after crossing them. Man. My eye itches, but I can't really scratch it because I'll mess up my lashes. I just know it. I am afraid I must now take my leave. There are preparations I have to make for the state dinner, so the palace staff will attend to all your needs from this point on today. Thank you so much for helping me, Your Highness. It was my pleasure. He nods politely and leaves the antechamber. The moment he steps outside, a dozen maidservants and butlers stream into the room, as if summoned out of thin air. Truly, my thanks for your assistance cannot be fully articulated into words, Saren. I aim the thought of gratitude after the good prince as a pretty maid in a frilly dress leads me gently by the arm to what she assures me will be the fanciest bath I have ever seen in my life. Thank God! The remainder of the afternoon passes in an indistinct blur. I'm conducted into a luxurious bath of scented soap and multicolored bubbles, where I, at last, wash off the ashes and blood in steaming hot water. That's right, I've had that on me this entire time. When I step out of the bath, my clothes are neatly laid out on a bed, crisp and clean, next to a large white towel still warm with the sun. A maidservant enters the chamber the moment I finish dressing, carrying a tray laden with pastries, fruits, and piping hot tea. As I sit on a fur-lined couch nibbling a buttery scone and savoring the rich herbal aroma left by the scalding tea, the nightmarish events of the previous night seem to disappear. But the respite does not last long. A somber butler in an immaculate black suit soon glides into the room and announces in a funereal tone that this evening's state dinner, in honor of the High Council, is about to begin. Fuck! Gotta go be my liege self. Oh man, I need more of that. I need more hydrations. Here we go. Friends, countrymen, and honored guests. Before we begin tonight's state dinner, there's an announcement I wish to make on behalf of the Regency Council. The Lord Regent, the late King's younger brother, appears to be a subdued-looking gentleman with graying hair and a tired voice. He speaks standing next to the empty throne, and his voice is barely audible over the chattering crowd of Eskian citizens milling about the throne. I'm going to change my voice for him then. After much deliberation, the Regency Council has decided upon a candidate to be the realm's royal tutor for the three princes. At these words, the chatter between those in attendance quickly increases in volume. I see glances dart my way, not all of them friendly. They are the scion of ancient and noble house of Rosencruz, an accomplished practitioner. I know how to say that word. An accomplished practitioner in the art of magic, and a foremost member in the High Council's most worthy order of obscure nobodies, useless upstart potion makers. Leave magic to the mages, Alchemist. Listen, you fuckers. When I make the first prince king and he marries me, it is over for you. Gracious consort my ass. I will have payback. A storm of harsh laughter and scorn bursts from the nobles. My jaws clench, and I dig my nails into the palm of my hand. My jaws? Don't we have a single jaw? Am I insane? Do we have one? We have one jaw, right? Right? Someone please shit, right? How dare they? Order! Thankfully, the disruption does not last long. The blatant contempt is hardly partaken in by anyone aside from the nobles. Upper and lower, maybe? Okay, thank you, Dawn. Okay, thank you. Representatives from Eskia's circle of mages, which should be eager to participate in the outrage after having their colleagues in the High Council appoint me in their stead, are looking at me sympathetically. I sincerely urge our peers in the palace to conduct themselves with the dignity befitting their high station. The clamor dies down, but the lackluster sentiment by the aristocracy? I don't know. Now that word is in my head, and I'm not going to be able to figure it out. Keeps an unfortunate strong hold on the atmosphere of the room. As I was saying, we in the Regency Council have determined... While the Lord Regent drones on, I start to survey the room, trying to decipher the lay of the political landscape. The nobility presents an almost uniformly hostile obstacle to my new duties. High up the balustrade, the high nobles look down on me, and I can read tonight, my god. The high nobles look down on me, cold and implacable. They do not shout or jeer. They don't need to. Below them, their vassals, the minor barons and counts, are all too eager to bark at their master's bidding. Mages are divided. Half of them regard me with undisguised disapproval as an interloper encroaching on their traditional area of prerogative, which in all fairness, I suppose I am. The other half observe me with detached curiosity, as though I were a new and potentially interesting specimen of mouse about to be experimented on. The few alchemists in the hall, from whom I expect expressions of support, offer none. Hemmed in between the nobles and the mages, they make a self-effacing group, trying not to be noticed. Why am I one of you? No, I'm gonna be noticed. Never. Weaklings? You make me sick. God. A few of them smile at me, more out of pity than encouragement. Being young and high-spirited, the princess should be governed by a temperate and moderating influence. The more in the instruction of an art as subtle and perilous as that of magic. The princess? I wonder how they're doing. Trying to keep myself from yawning, I cast my eyes about the room for the 3 young men I met earlier today. Prince Saren is standing at full attention immediately to the right of the throne, with hands clasped behind his back, his face a mask of dutiful attention. Next to him, Prince Nazir slouches against a pillar. He catches my eyes and offers a lazy wink. The gesture prompts me to smile in acknowledgement and reply. The idea to survey the room must have occurred to Prince Aurelius as well. He is scanning the great hall from one end to another, brows creased in a slight frown. Our gazes meet. He stares keenly at my face for a moment before his eyes flicker away, quite impersonally to the person next to me. Let us therefore wish the new royal tutor every success in guiding their highnesses, the princes of Eskia, on the paths of wisdom and virtue. May they flourish under their guidance. It sounds like the Lord Regent's address is winding down at last. To Reaper of Rosencreuz, our tutor to the princes. Yo, Reaper of Rosencreuz sounds really fucking cool. For a second, absolute silence reigns. I feel my cheeks flush. A ringing noise fills my ears. Then, hear, hear. Prince Nazir shouts cheerfully as he claps, which echoes through the cavernous room. Prince Saren joins him the briefest instant later, adding his applause to his brothers. Then Prince Aurelius, too, is clapping, and soon so is everyone else in the throne room, with every display of enthusiasm. Okay, Nazir, you might not be too bad. I'm still not gonna romance you, but I may not romance you, but I respect you a little more. Let's say that. Okay, buddy? Okay. Okay, one jaw. That's what I thought. I thought this part was the jaw. Yeah, it's definitely, probably just a typo. That's a lot of words, so. Nobody wishes to be seen holding back, or worse, jeering, when their future sovereign, whoever he may be among the 3, is applauding. My lords and ladies, I formally declare the state dinner for this evening open! I'm almost sure I hear a sigh of relief from the Lord Regent as he steps down from the podium. At the far end of the throne room, trains of servants bring out silver platters piled high with steaming and aromatic delicacies. With great eagerness, the assembly of nobles breaks into little groups, shuffling their way to the buffet table. I pause, wondering with whom I should speak to over dinner. We're gonna go talk to Saren. I've decided. I'm sorry. I've decided. Prince Saren, Prince Nazir, Prince Aurelius, the Lord Regent. Who should I talk to? I'm gonna go talk to Saren. I'm sorry. Yeah, I think it's it. Prince Saren is surrounded by a clique of high nobles. I was about to look for someone else, but to my surprise, we lock eyes and he flashes me a smile before gracefully excusing himself from the gathering around him. Okay, so I think he's set. He's set and he's primed to be king. And so I think our thing is going to be getting beneath who Saren the prince is and finding out who Saren the person is. And I feel like that's probably the romance route if we can live long enough. And I love that stuff where people act a certain way because that's how they were brought up and that's how they're supposed to be seen. And then you as the main character or the reader or whatever being that person that's like, you can just be yourself around me. I think that's probably Saren's route. I've played too many of these. Good evening. What do I have his voice? I had his voice a little bit higher. Good evening, Master Rosencruz. To what do I owe the pleasure? I want to thank you again for saving me from the palace guard today. Not at all. I have no doubt that you would have been able to reason with Hagen without my interruption. The only reason why I might have made the only reason I might have made Hagen see is the undesirability of being turned into a pile of ashes. But I keep this thought to myself. You were very observant to have noticed the petal markings on my neck. Anyone is capable of noticing things they know beforehand to look out for. I dabbled some in reading a little story about the history of your lineage, you see. The ability to wield all 6 branches of magic is truly a most unique blessing. It's not altogether a blessing. I begin, then stop. Thankfully, Prince Saren seems too preoccupied with his thoughts to have paid attention to what I said. Forgive me if I'm being overly forward, Master Rosencruz, but may I take a closer look at those markings? This is how I know, yeah. I want to romance him, but this is how I know he's not flirty, because I didn't get the kind of, okay. Yeah, I'm feeling my way. Making my way downtown, walking fast, faces passing, I'm homebound. Sorry. If you don't do the little then I don't come to karaoke with me. A closer look? Yes, I'm not sure. I mean, I'm your tutor, and I should be teaching you things, and teaching you about the 6 branches of magic and how they're connected to how I can control all of them should be okay, right? Right? Can I use that as an excuse? I'm using that as an excuse. Sure. Charisma! Yo, my stats are like evenly stacked. Hell yeah. I nod. Discreetly, I unbutton the collar of my shirt and tug down the stiff, starched cloth. Prince Saren tilts his head ever so slightly as he takes a peek at my neck, while at the same time moving to position his body between myself and the crowd so that no one can see what we're doing. See, also, First Prince knows his shit, so maybe I won't get in trouble with doing stuff like this with him. And more. But I'm gonna keep that to myself. They're beautiful. Thanks? A single stutter of a reply barely manages to escape my breath. Even though the prince doesn't invade my personal space beyond looking, his penetrating gaze suddenly feels very intimate, and my cheeks start to feel feverish. Within this proximity, I can make out a faint, herbal fragrance. His scent differs greatly from something you would expect a noble to wear, but strangely, its calm nature suits Prince Saren's gentle demeanor more than anything I could imagine. How much more stunning they must look when they're glowing. You Reaper? Game Reaper, you good? You good, sweetie? You good? You okay? Because I see that blushy. This is for the first time I've seen us blush. And been like... Same. My thoughts snap back to reality, and before I even know how to respond, Prince Saren straightens his posture and takes a small step back. Thank you for showing them to me, Master Rosencruz. It's okay. I button up the collar again, fighting to keep myself from blushing too obviously. Sweetie, everyone in this fucking room saw the blush. I don't know what else to tell you. By the way, Master Rosencruz is a little too formal, don't you think? You're older than me, after all. I would prefer it if you'd call me Reaper. But you are my tutor, and I ought to... I am your tutor, and as such, I am ordering you to call me by my given name. The prince looks taken aback for a moment, but a smile soon graces his lips. Very well. I shall try to get used to doing just that, Reaper. Okay, there we go. Okay. He straightens up and motions towards the group of nobles he had left. Pardon me, Reaper, but duty obliges me to reconvene with my peers for the rest of the evening. This is likely the last time I'll be able to meet you tonight. Would you mind? Of course not. I suppose I'll see you around. Smooth, Reaper! Smooth! Not like you hadn't just established you were his tutor or anything only a moment ago. Good job, dork. I certainly hope so. I can usually be found in the palace library. Library! There we go! He's just ticking all the right boxes, people! Excuse me, sorry. I can usually be found in the palace library if you ever happen to desire my company. With another faint smile and a courtly bow, Prince Saren takes his leave and makes his way back to the gathering of nobles. Okay, we got a grimoire update on Saren. Let's see. Okay, so that's it. Yeah. Okay, so the more we talk to them, they'll get little paragraphs added here. There's a whoa! Look at all those characters! And we are slowly evening out the stats. I'm loving it. Good shit, everyone. Good job. Good job. Give yourself a round of applause. I take my leave from the state dinner as soon as it is polite to do so. I haven't had a wink of sleep since the night before last, and the effects are starting to take their toll on me. By the time I reach my room, my eyes feel incredibly dry from me trying to keep them open. I pry my clothes off and change into a nightgown, finally collapsing onto my bed. Without missing a beat, darkness engulfs me. Lotus? The rich but calming aroma of lotus flowers pervades the room. I groan as I push myself upright, blinking through the cobwebs of sleep. A slim hand places a steaming cup of tea onto the table beside me. I take a sip, savoring the slightly bitter aftertaste. Thanks. I'm happy to be of service, Master Rosencruz. Yay! I can give her a higher voice now. After being with so many deep-voiced people, I can put a little bit higher pitched. I look up to see a demure-looking young woman standing next to the bed. She has a quiet, attractive face framed by long silver hair. Her ears are long and pointed like knives. I half-consciously touch my own ear and ask, I beg your pardon, but are you a homunculus? Homunculus? Isn't that also in Genshin? I don't know how to say that word. Homunculus? Homunculus? I don't know why I cannot say it. I am. She dips into a graceful curtsy. Being magical creatures shaped from all 6 elements of magic, you said it right, it's all over the place. Oh my god. Homunculi are very rare even within the High Council. My father, the council's most skillful alchemist, had once tried to make a homunculi. I cannot. Oh my god! He called him Tobermory. Tobermory? Sleek and gray, indistinguishable from a kitten apart from the fact that he speaks in human tongues. That alone had taken all his attention and energy for an entire year. To my sincere amazement, she's the first human-shaped homunculus I have ever seen, demurely shaped with a soothing, gentle, magical aura around her. The sheer amount of craft and power needed to create her must have been immense. I didn't know that Eskia had an alchemist adept enough to create homunculi. I cannot do this. The young woman smiles, but does not reply. I decide to try another approach. So, what's your name? I am Sala, my liege. The regent assigned me to be your personal servant. My lips quirk up into a smile. Back at home in our fief? I think it's a fief or fief, I can't remember. My parents had hired many servants and guards, but they never allowed us, their children, to have someone appointed to be our personal attendant. They had hoped that by doing so, we would be capable of taking care of ourselves without any added assistance. I like that. As I may be, I'm essentially alone in a distant country for the first time. And the prospect of having someone familiar with this environment is more welcome than I'm disposed to admit. Did the regent assign me any other servants I should know about? Yes, there's... Just then comes a knock on the door. A debonair man pushes it open and swaggers into the room. Master Rosencruz, my deepest apologies. I was held up by a measly bit of business with the treasury. And you are? Raphael, at your service, Master Rosencruz. Sala and I will personally oversee that you are well taken care of. I can bathe and dress on my own. Sometimes I can even wake up on my own. I let out a grin along with my last jab. Raphael's gestures soften in response, and a smile tugs at the corner of his lips. Watch out, it's a butler, John! Don't do this to me! Stop it, sir! Stop! That's not something that can be taken for granted in the aristocracy of the capital, indeed. However, our services extend to more than just domestic assistance. You're not just my servants. You're my bodyguards as well. We can both protect you in times of danger. There will also be 4 guards to watch your chambers at all hours. Sure would have been nice to have had them, a day ago. But apart from that, Sala here is a beautician in her own right. Impressive. Sala smiles. She's really pretty. If you ever feel the need to pretty yourself up a little, you can always spend an afternoon with me. I'll keep that in mind, Sala the beautician. I'm a courtier who has been in the service of the king for a long, long time. I know all there is to know about the etiquette and protocols of the Eskian court. Lucky for me, considering I don't know anything about that at all. I shall be delighted to teach them to you. When you want a lesson on our court customs and traditions, please come find me. Raphael the courtier. I'll remember. And then there's Garyon. Garyon? Is he another servant? Good heavens, no. Please don't let him hear you say that. Marshal Garyon commands the palace guards and was a close confidant of the late king. He's the one in charge of training new recruits and can usually be found bustling about the parade grounds. Be that as it may, he also offers to train members of the royal household, and this now includes you. I give a casual flick of my wrist. I'm more used to fighting with magic, or should I say alchemy items. Of course, and the training ground can offer you opportunities to train in magical combat. But if you ever find the need for enhancing your physical prowess, he's the one you want to see. Seems like I'm gonna have a very busy week ahead. To top it all off, please don't forget about your daily lessons with the princes. I wonder if this game is gonna force me to go hang out with every prince, because I'm a tutor to all of them. Sorry, Mike. How could I forget? Have you already got a rough idea for this week's scheduled? If you tell us, we can help you plan out your activities accordingly. Sure, let's see. For this week, I think... Oh, we get to plan the week! The regent... Oh, no, sorry, I got excited. I thought we were gonna, plan it here, and then, it would continue... we'd follow that. I might still have to choose things. Fuck! Okay, Regent, Sala, and Raphael. I like Sala. Okay, games tutorials by pressing T. T, 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 T. That is a Japanese commercial thing, sorry. If you're unsure about the stats raising aspect of the game, check them out. Okay. Okay. Schedule your classes, write your story progress, read another story progress. Okay. Shall we do some classes before I call it a night? Okay. Oh, wait a second. This is... Can I? T. Tutorial. Thank you, game. Okay, at the beginning of each week, you can choose an activity to perform. Some activities will pass time and prompt the next week to start. So that is very similar to Imperial Grace. That I don't think that aspect was fully fleshed out in the Imperial Grace's demo, but it was something that I really, really liked about it. Excuse me. I believe so. I know that the item thing, like, okay, getting taxes, putting money towards military, taking care of, like, livestock, things like that kind of inventory taken care of was definitely a weekly thing. And I believe this was also an aspect of it, but again, it wasn't fleshed out and I can't really remember. Save! You know what? I'll save after I do this, V, but thank you. First time you see that name outside of a book. Classes and missions, pastime, treasury and alchemy don't. Okay, nice layout. This is a very good layout. Okay. Classes are where you primarily raise the character stats. These lectures raise the MC stats. These lectures raise the princess stats. Okay, because it's the 6. That makes sense because these are my 6 attributes and these are the 6 elements. Click on the lecture. Click on the time block. Start the week when you're done. The princes have their own magic affinities. For starters, check the grimoire for information on which are most suitable to raise. Okay, so we should probably focus on their strengths, I guess? Check the grimoire to see your current stats, or just hover the character's portraits on the screen. Oh, that's nice. Okay, alchemy. Alchemy items can be required for missions and some events of the main story. Recipes will be unlocked as you go. Click on the recipe to see its requirements. At least one prince must meet all magical requirements. You need coins as well. If everything is ready, click synthesize. Crafting doesn't take time, so create as many items as you need. That's really nice. Thank you. Thank you, devs. Missions. Missions are available side stories you can take on to experience more adventures with the princes while improving the Eskian economy. Click on the mission to check its requirements. Missions may require alchemy items and or certain stats from the princes. So this one requires Saren to have 10 light magic. Start available when requirements are met. Missions may test your stats. Success will give you political approval. Success may also unlock mini illustrations and improve relationships. Missions take time, so you won't be able to finish all of them. Focus on the route you're pursuing. You can check your route progress in the grimoire. Grimoire. I know how to say grimoire because of, Hell of a boss. Thank you, Hell of a boss. Okay, the treasury gives you an overview on your current income. You can improve your income by successfully completing missions or through certain events in the story. You'll encounter various stat checks through the story. Okay, so we can fail. Success can improve relationships. Failure can result in death endings. Ha ha. Ha, thanks. In the long run, you won't be able to pass them all. Focus on the route you pursue. If you pay attention, you may notice the princes have their own stat preferences. If you find yourself dying all over the place, consider toggling the stats bonus in the grimoire. Every unique death will make you stronger. So if we die, they're gonna give... Oh, that's nice. That way you're not like... It's not just always a negative thing if you die. You're gonna get a little bonus to live longer. Okay. Okay. What is your affinity? Let's check their affinities really quick. Wood and light, fire and wind, water and darkness. Okay, so they each have their own little thing. I like that they're like, hey, focus on your route. Yeah, there's some good things in this. Some extra things in this otome. Otome visual novel? I'm not 100% sure. No, this is otome. They count it as an otome. So, it's an otome. Yeah. Maybe, yeah, let's stick with, like, maybe wood and light. I like that they said, like, focus on the one you want to pursue. Guys, I think we're pursuing Saren. Yeah, I think it's it. Okay. I think I want to do intelligence and etiquette and can I do intelligence again? I feel like he would appreciate intelligence. Does that make sense? Okay, and then, shit. I like that the grimoire is so accessible. Wood and light. I have to be careful that I don't exit out of the game though. Let's do light. Darkness. Okay, that's wood. Okay, I like that. Wood. And let's do light. Let's get them pretty strong in their thing. Nazir, what should we give you, sweetie? Fire and wind. Fire, wind, and your water, darkness. Fire, wind. Let's go. Nope, I don't want that for you. Fire. Fire. Wind. And then let's do dark, water. It's nice too that like everyone can have three sections. It's not like, hey, you're teaching him, so you can't teach Nazir or Aurelius. Like you're teaching them all. Okay. We're doubling up on some things, but that's because I want us to be kind of stacked in some. That way when we have options and conversations, we will be stacked enough in one thing that we might be able to make it through. Let's do this week, and then we'll call it. Yo! Okay, so let's see if anything changed. So we got 2 the first time, and 5 the second. 6 and 6, 5 and 5, 6 and 5. It doesn't seem like it matters. It doesn't seem like, hey, the first time you do it, it's more points and it's less points next. It seems kind of randomized, maybe? We got 65 coins. Hell yeah, son. Let's do this little bit and then we'll call it. Knock, knock. Come in. I glance up from my studies as the door swings open. Yes! Please pardon my intrusion. Prince Saren makes a half bow in my direction with his trademark courteous smile. Your Highness, pray sit down. Thank you. Prince Saren closes the door after him, and I catch a glimpse of several guards. Not mine, but likely his personal troop. Since arriving, I have yet to see the prince without any companions. I suppose it's understandable since the culprits behind his father's assassination were never found. Pulling out the chair across from me, he takes his seat. This prompts me to look around, suddenly realizing I don't have anything to offer him. Prince Saren must have been following my eyes because he takes initiative to stop me when I'm about to call on Sala or someone with the means to fetch her for me. Please, no need to trouble yourself. I look at him as I proceed to settle down again. He smiles at me warmly, showing no indication that it was a mere courtesy. I find myself unable to keep from smiling back. To what do I owe the pleasure, Your Highness? The Lord Regent would like me to ask you for more details about the mercenaries who ambushed you on your way to the capital. He was most disturbed by this most unnerving and unforeseeable breach of security so near the heart of the kingdom, and to a person as important to us as you, of course. I am touched by his concern for my welfare. Would this be a convenient time for you, Master Rosencruz? It's Reaper, remember? Of course. I beg your pardon, Reaper. I do happen to have some free time just now, so please ask away. Thank you. To the best of your knowledge, who knew about the details of your journey to Fostrix? No one outside the palace. Yes. We are investigating the possibility of an internal leak. In that case, the Lord President of the High Council and the Senior Alchemist. You've told no one of your appointment? Not a soul. Do you think they could have... I don't even have to think before shaking my head. Impossible. They won't tell anyone about what they had for breakfast, much less the affairs of their delegates. The members of the council have always been overly secretive. That was one of the reasons why I had to bear with that rude palace guard in the first place. I see. My lips purse and I close my eyes, trying to recall more details of that night. On the road to Fostrix, I heard a loud explosion that came from somewhere within the forest. Then the temperature around the carriage began growing warm. What do you think caused the explosion? Perhaps it was a way to remotely detonate the phlogiston mines beneath the road? Or maybe one of the caches was misplaced and exploded earlier than planned? However, due to the discoveries I found later in the forest, I know the mercenaries had not finished their work when my carriage came to the ambush site. They didn't expect me to show up so early since I was supposed to spend the night in the village inn. They knew even about that? I nod. It was a coincidence and maybe just the right amount of luck. It was the only reason I managed to escape alive. At least the explosion gave you enough time to get away. Thanks to the captain of my escort. He recognized the situation for what it was immediately and warned me in the nick of time. If not for his prompt actions, I would have... I close my eyes and swallow, even though my throat is perfectly dry. The hellish vision of the inferno. The broiling, horrifying waves of heat. Worst of all, those piteous, charred people lying twisted and broken about the devastated remains of the carriage. Afterwards, I took off into the forest when the mercenaries came to examine their handiwork, hoping to escape from the vicinity. You were one, and they were many. No one can blame you for your wise actions. Perhaps. Fortunately, I found a crate of unused phlogiston in the forest. I equipped myself with them before making my way back to the mercenaries, fully armed. The mercenaries thought I was dead. They were taken completely by surprise when I came back with phlogiston, ready to throw it into their midst. I reopened my eyes. My hands, I noticed, are balled into fist, and I forced myself to unclench them. You were not able to take any of them alive? That's what scared me the most, Your Highness. After I defeated the mercenaries, when I tried to question them, they brutally killed themselves right in front of me. I'll never forget those empty, doll-like eyes. For this reason, I suspect the person who employed them is somehow able to control their minds to an extent. That's disturbing, to say the least. I'm awfully sorry you had to go through that. Prince Saren's face turns a touch paler, filled with genuine concern and sorrow, after I finish recounting my experience with the ambush. He sounds as though he's trying to comfort me, yet he looks as though he needs some comforting himself. Thank you for telling me the tale of your harrowing encounter. You have my word that the utmost precaution will be taken to ensure that this does not happen in the future. Prince Saren. For sure, Prince Saren, I can protect myself. I don't know if I can. Play down the violence of... Oh, I don't know if I want to play down the violence. What up, woke? Woke in space? How you doing, sweetie? Good evening. Good night, Sleepy. I hope your art looked good. Yeah, I can't wait to see it. I'm doing good. I'm trying not to die in this game because apparently that's a thing that can happen. And we know how good I am at, you know, making smart decisions. But I'm doing good, woke. My throat's getting a little tired. My voice is getting a little tired. So we're gonna maybe have this and then call it a night. Let's just see if we can reassure him that oh, wait. I'm intelligent. Yeah, I think I could take care of myself because I can use my intelligence for the fight. I can protect myself. Let's do this. Oh! Yes! Leadership worked! Yes! I am a full-fledged alchemist, Your Highness, as well as a member of the High Council. You need not burden yourself with security of my person. You will find I am more than capable of defending myself. I have confidence you can, in a fair fight. But our enemies, whoever they may be, do not appear to have any intention of fighting fair. Even an archmage or a master swordsman is vulnerable to a poisonous adder hidden underneath their bedsheets. Or perchance a crate of phlogiston minded to the road their carriage is set to embark on. My lips purse. The prince's father, I faintly recalled, died in an ambush at the hands of mysterious assassins. So they almost took us out the same way. As a king, I'm sure he must have been strong. An adept magic user, a master of the sword, and a person with overwhelming charisma. I give you my solemn oath. As long as you're close to me, I shall see that you're kept out of harm's way. And then the picture moved in a little too. That's the sweet stuff! I observe Prince Saren very closely while he speaks. His troubled look, though diminished, does not disappear entirely, and his eyes have a distant, faraway look that suggests he is thinking of something else, even if he's discussing the ambush with me. Did the recounting of my assault bring back unpleasant memories? Before I can formulate my hypothesis into a suitably polite inquiry, Prince Saren abruptly steps back as if he somehow senses my intention to pry where I likely should not. I believe you've given me sufficient information so that I may make a report to the Lord Regent. Thank you for your time, Master Rosencruz. It's Reaper Saren! I sigh, but decide not to force the issue again. Seems like it's going to be Master Rosencruz for a while longer. It was a pleasure, Your Highness. Good day. Prince Saren nods his head and goes to leave. He pauses when he reaches the door and turns back to face me. Your Highness? I would like to tell you I am very thankful you got away from the ambush unscathed. There's a soft undertone in his voice that makes me think he said those words out of more than mere etiquette. Thank you, Your Highness. Prince Saren nods again and silently closes the door behind him. Is the prince falling for me too? Good night, Dawn! Sleep well! I appreciate you hanging out with us so late into the night. Okay, you guys. I'm gonna save here. I wonder how many I wonder if it's just like survive as many weeks as possible or what. Yes, we've saved it. Oh, and that is Royal Alchemist. So much has happened already. Yeah, I'm locked in. I'm locked in. We're doing Saren. I'm romancing Saren. That's gonna be my focus for this one. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. What do you guys think? YouTube, Twitch, what do you guys think? Is it very obvious which characters I'll go for? Like once you see all the romanceable characters, are you instantly like, yep, Reaper's gonna go for that one, and I go for that one? I'm very curious. YouTube, in the comments below, be like, yeah, I've watched enough of these vids. I know which one you're gonna choose before you even say it. Twitch, let me know right now as I go do the outro for YouTube. And that was Royal Alchemist. We didn't die! So success. Success there, everyone. YouTube, thanks for hanging out with us tonight. Again, all the information for this game is down in the description box below, as well as all the social media for me and Twitch. So if you want to come hang out with us live, it's all down there. Come hang out with us. We're kind of fun. Kind of, sometimes. And with that, everyone, I hope you have a great day, night, wherever you are in the world. And I will see you next time. Bye, guys.